Hey, what's up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in to another Throwback Thursday. Today we got a special guest. We got our leader, Brian Snyder. Ronnie's out getting deals, so we're going to let him do what he does best. But Brian's going to step in, and we wanted to talk today about a deal that actually was, I think it was like my first deal when I first came on. I kind of got thrown on my plate when I was taking over for Brian. Big old multifamily down in Greenwood. And the thing that was special about this deal was, for one, it was almost a tear down type of property, but we were actually able to sell it pretty quickly. Kind of ran into some snags with the city of Greenwood and things like that. But Brian, why don't you go ahead and kind of tell the story on the issues that we came across, and then I'll kind of chime in at the end.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on Throwback Thursday, Randy. You and Ronnie get to have all the fun
Yeah.
usually, so I'm excited to jump on here for this week and stuff. And Ronnie's got I think he's got 4 PAs today, so he's we'll let him keep buying houses and
Yeah.
stuff. We'll take care of this. No, so this was an interesting one, and I remember we bought this one. This was an 8 unit down in Greenwood. Actually ended up being a 9 unit once we got into it, and it was craziness. And kind of just going through different steps here. And I remember this was like right when you first came on, we bought it. And I think we were taking a company trip down in Florida at the time. And I actually was still working as the dispo guy. I agreed to terms and stuff like that while you were kind of like doing some of the behind the scenes stuff, just kind of learning the job from me and things. But this was a unit so we bought it like right before Christmas, and it is a huge clean out, huge. We had to, replace some roof stuff because there was, water coming in all over the place. We had trouble with dogs coming in the property and like being in there and stuff like that. There were like in between the units, people had knocked out holes. Basically, so you get from like one unit to another unit. It was like a big maze. So it was pretty crazy and stuff. And we agreed to terms from a team that basically they were going to go in and they were just going to, I think it was 9 units. They were all 1-1s. They were going to go in and just basically just renovate it. This property had been vacant for, I want to say like 2 years. The city had a lot of trouble with it. And neighbors had a lot of trouble with it and stuff. And so this team put a thing together. They were basically, so we came to terms with them. They were going to go in and just renovate it, keep it as a 9 unit with one bedroom, one bathroom each. As we got digging into it, we realized that even though this property had been a 9 unit or a multi-unit for 15 plus years, Greenwood had something in its, like basically in the city ordinance, that since it had been vacant for more than 6 months, it basically converted back to the original form, which was a single family. So we had to go in front of the city of Greenwood, along with the people that were going to buy the property, and basically tell them our plan, tell them what we were going to do, to see if they would basically rezone it as a multifamily, because essentially it was now a single family. And so there were a bunch of neighbors and everything that came to speak against what we were trying to do with it, against what the buyers were trying to do with it. It was really disheartening. It was one of the first times I'd been in that situation where these guys were putting forth just a great plan, and just the neighbors did not want it. And it didn't have a chance. Like, it was very evident right from the start. It didn't have a chance. It was very disheartening, because these guys the buyers do amazing work all over town. They're great property managers. They're great renovators, all this stuff. And they actually had 2 different plans. One that they put forth of where they were going to convert it from just renovate the 9 unit to a 1 bedroom, 1 bath. And then if that didn't work, they could rezone it. Or basically up in Indiana, you can basically kind of have the same, it can still be a single family, or not. It won't be zoned as a multifamily if you do 4 units here in Indianapolis. So they had a plan even for that. And then that got shut down because they didn't have enough parking for 4 units and stuff like that. So it was just crazy. And then actually at this time too, like, some people I'm kind of going off the rails here a little bit, but even some people put out stuff about us as a company, the fact that like we should never be owning properties in Greenwood. And so we had to deal with some bad press. Some people too, like, put out, because actually one of our buddies like put out a post about like how we lost like $100,000 on this property. And like, nope, we didn't. Like, we still made money on it and things like that. So it was a really weird deal. And I think it was like one of the first times in my my experience that I kind of dealt with a little bit of everything. This is a property that literally every single thing that maybe could have gone wrong, like we had to face it, and we did it, and it was kind of crazy. And we did think we had like a, you know, bigger plan for this where we're going to make a little bit more money than what we did, but we still ended up turning a really good profit on this property and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So Randy, I'll let you to kind of take it over as far as kind of how that sale went on the other side.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I think after that went down, it took another 2 months to sell. And the thing that was crazy is after that hearing, the city of Greenwood would contact me once a month, and they're like, "Hey, you guys really need to sell this house." And I'm like, "Well, we had our chance, but you guys shut us down."
And the funny thing is as long as we kept mowing it, they couldn't do anything about it. So we
Yeah.
like made sure it was mowed like every 5 days. And
Yeah. So they wanted it sold, but they prevented that initially. So yeah, so we had to keep marketing that as just a really big project for a single family. And there was a husband and wife investor team that approached me, and they wanted to go ahead and take that project on. And like I said, at the end of the day, a couple months down the road, we got the sale done, and we still turned an above average profit for our company. So it all worked out at the end. Biggest learning thing for me is, if we ever look at anything like that for a property that's been vacant for so long, but it's multifamily, let's just make sure it's zoned still for multifamily. And not,
like, that's just, it's something
I've never even heard of that rule.
right. And it makes sense of like, oh, well, yeah, we should have checked on that. We didn't do our due diligence, and that's our bad. We probably still would have bought it because it was still a good deal in our eyes and everything like that. But it was just crazy the fact that because it had been vacant for more than 6 months or whatever, that it converted back into a single family. And this was a ridiculously huge home and been multifamily for multiple, like tens of years. So
yeah. And if you ever have to go to a city council hearing and the neighbors are going to be there arguing with you, they're just going to keep telling you to tear it down.
Yep.
Tear it down.
Yeah.
So
it actually left me a little biased against Greenwood for a little while. And we've done multiple deals in Greenwood, and there are some awesome people down there and stuff like that. But that was a unique situation, and stuff. But all turned out for the best, and all in all, really good deal.
Yeah. I thought it was worthy for a good Throwback Thursday today. So thanks, Brian, for stepping in, telling that story, and we will catch you all next Thursday.
Awesome. Later, guys.